Hello and welcome to the showpiece occasion of the Welsh baseball season, the Welsh Brewers Cup final. And what a day it is for the two sides involved, LLanrumney and Grange Albion, who both battled their way through after a tough summer schedule. For Grange Albion, well, it's a very special day for them because they were the first winners of this trophy way back in 1973. And for LLanrumney, well, they can consider themselves virtual shareholders of the silverware. They've won the trophy no fewer than 8 times. And now, for those of you who are not fully acquainted with the sport, which is firmly rooted here in Cardiff and in Newport, here's a little taste of what it's all about.
I like baseball because I like hitting it hard and getting those fielders working.
I like baseball when our team wins.
I like hitting the ball hard and making 4s and 3s and high scores.
I like catching the ball and hitting it into slips and also getting people out.
Baseball! Baseball!
Well, it was always said that baseball was born on the old mile in the bottom end of the town near the river. It was once a grassy pit, and it was ideal for the game. In fact, as a small boy, I thought the banks were put there for people to sit on to watch the game, but really they were there to keep back the tide because Grangetown had many floods. And dockers coming home would play rounders. Now, rounders played with a small rounder stick. They wanted something else, and so they smuggled out a 3.5 foot length of timber from the docks, smoothed it on one side, and baseball began to be born. Rules would be adapted as they went along. For a start, once they had a hard ball made by a local cobbler, they stopped throwing the ball at players between the bases because obviously they could do some damage. And as a result, players had to be touched, and the equipment could be homemade. The bases were homemade, the pegs. Bats were a problem until at last somebody decided to cut down old cricket bats. And many of the early photographs will clearly show the bats are cut down cricket bats. And from that time onwards, the game began to develop until 1892. This sort of rounders baseball sort of setup was altered on Merseyside, who started to call it boy baseball because a new form of combative sport was being developed. And South Wales followed. And the other place that followed was Gloucester, which is almost forgotten. But they had a very keen baseball setup there, which died out in the early years of the century. Why, I don't know. There's 55 senior clubs playing, 30 ladies teams, 60 schoolboy sides, alone in Cardiff, never mind the ones in Gwent. And before the industrial problems, which are behind us now, I hope, we was spreading to Mid Glamorgan, and it certainly is in the Vale of Glamorgan now. We have teams from Lancashire Major, and Cumbraen, and Abergavenny. Mums play it, dads play it, the children play it, Boy Scouts play it, even little brownies play it, you know. Everyone's in on a baseball act.
Yes, it's a lot of fun and it's truly a family sport, but today at Roath Park, both sides are going to be keyed up and no effort spared to get their hands on the Welsh Brewers Cup. Well, joining me for the match is our match commentator, Howard Evans. Howard, LLanrumney, Grange Albion, the Cup final. What sort of match have we got in prospect?
Oh, a good game, I think, on a good day, Alan. LLanrumney, the form team, the unbeaten side, and Grange Albion with a great history in the game. And very hard semi-finals they had, both of them. It took 5 times before Grange Albion could beat Caira, and LLanrumney put out the Newport side Alexandra. And before that, Caira put out Rumney and Grange Catholics in hard games. and Llanrumney slightly easier with St Peter's and Cardiff Arms team.
On paper, Llanrumney slightly the favourites?
Oh, it's got to be, yes, definitely the favourites, yes.
What about the quick rundown of the laws of baseball, Howard?
Well, I think the game is slightly closer to cricket, in fact, than to American baseball. There's 22 yards between bases 1, 2 and 3, and the last base 17 yards, so it's a bit like cricket's 22. The ball is, it hurts a lot when it hits you, and just the same as cricket, probably a little bit harder, I think. And as against American baseball, where they tend to wear gloves, all the fielders, they don't do that in this form of baseball. 50 feet from the bowler to the batsman, and the catching is really the big thing in baseball as far as I'm concerned. That always makes the game look very good.
Well, I'm sure we're going to see some spectacular baseball. Let's have a look at the two teams then, Howard, Llanrumney and Grange Albion.
Well, Grange Albion, the famous side, was renamed such in 1921 and immediately won the Premier title. This side is skippered by Welsh cap Steve Granger, who's joined by 3 other caps, including the veteran Charlie Kinsey, who was in the first Brewers final of 1973. Llanrumney, led by John Smith, have won the Brewers title 8 times, but not since 1984, and John can call on 5 other Welsh caps, including this season's international skipper, Kevin Collins.
The referee for the final is David Evans of St Mellons in Cardiff. And so the scene is set for the 1989 final. Llanrumney have won the toss, and they will bat first.
The first batsman is Albie Wozencroft, real name Paul. He was a very good first baseman and a Welsh B cap for Llanrumney. So here's Les Jeremy of Grange Albion, and hits straight away the first ball, tucked away on the leg side, and that ball is moving away quite well, and it will get 3 runs possibly for Albie Wozencroft, and that's a good start for Llanrumney. It's John Smith of Llanrumney, who's got all the shots, leg side, offside, and little Lulla Jeremy, can't really call him Leslie, it's Lulla Jeremy to John Smith. A good ball and a good shot, not quite fielded in there by Grange Albion, and it's Smith racing around and making it for another 3 runs. So already Llanrumney have started in pretty good nick. Here's the experienced bat Ivor Hughes, who takes this one. It's a bit of height. Mark Jones going for it for Grange Albion, around behind the Llanrumney bench. And Ivor Hughes moving as if it could be the first 4 of the match, and it is the first 4 to Ivor Hughes, the Llanrumney backstop. With a leg hit, it's Jeremy to Collins, and the usual Collins cut, lovely little cut away, the ball picking up a lot of speed, and 4 runs almost certainly for Kevin Collins as the ball is away and through the ring. No boundary, you've got to run them all, and that's another 4 to Llanrumney. Quite a normal shot really from Kevin Collins that he plays, and he plays it so well, effortlessly really, and it's gone before. Here's a new boy in the Llanrumney side this season from the Rumney Rugby Club, Patrick Cassier. Very good player, had a fine season, and he's hit that well away. The ball's picking up a lot of speed off the ground. Not so much that shot possibly, but Pat will have a go possibly for a 4. Yes, he will. And he just makes a good throw from the deep, but Pat Cassier makes a good 4. So here's the man who, along with his brother, got a B international last week. Good to see the 2 brothers in, one from Llanrumney, and that's Patrick, and that's 4. So the pattern is there at the moment for all to see. Grange Albion are taking a little bit of a pasting to start with. That's the man who hit the 4. Here's the youngest and newest member of the Llanrumney side, Stephen Furnish, who had a good game, Steve Furnish, in the WBU final 2 weeks ago. Good fielder, this lad, Steve Furnish. He hits high, he's got it away, safely it looks, it is safe. And again, he could be on with a bit of speed before, or maybe, yes, he will go for 4, running the base as well. And that's another 4 runs, and really that's the 4-4 in succession, and Llanrumney are well on top at this stage. It must be most disappointing for Lola Jeremy, as Furnish, the youngest lad, getting it away with a cracking shot there. Paul Bellamy shaping for a shot on the leg side, possibly. Oh, he's put it off, and he's put it high, and it's out, and it's caught by Jeff Poole. Good shot, and Jeffrey Poole catching that one well. As Paul Bellamy shaped for the leg shot, I thought, but he went off in the end and was swallowed by the Albion fielding. Jeremy to the number 11, Tony Hinchy. One man out for LLanrumney, but it won't be Tony Hinchy now, and Hinchy is very fit, fast player on the bases, and he's going to go to home for four casual, easy runs with a nice safe shot, and it starts Tony Hinchy well in the game. Steve Haynes waiting, having a good look, very confident batsman, and he plays again this leg touch, and Mark Jones drops it. Well, that was a giveaway, and I'm afraid one that they just can't afford. Mark Jones, the Welsh international. Haynes with a favourite little tickle of his around the corner. Jones was right there for the catch, right in, and I'm afraid right out again. So LLanrumney 47 for 1. An amazingly quick 47 by LLanrumney. Ivor Hughes. Oh, mishit it, and he's got away with it, I think. Jeremy tries for the return, and he's given out based. He's given out based by the referee, and that really was a photo finish. I don't think you'll get Ivor Hughes to believe he didn't make it. It really was a photo finish. Ivor Hughes mishit it. He tried for leg side. He didn't get it. You can see completely missed that. Went to the off. The baseman, Hayden Mould, does a good bit of work. Jeremy, the bowler, is there. And that's got to be tight, but the referee is just in between us, so it's 47 for 2. Gary Jones bowling to Pat Kakia. Now I don't think Gary will get that great percentage of good balls in. It's a question of whether LLanrumney go fishing for them, I think. Gary Jones and Pat Kakia did go fishing, and he's out with a sweep and a miss, and he's bowled. So the change works. Patrick Kasia must be a little bit disappointed. He went for a huge sweep. The pace was different. It was the pace that beat him, the slower pace, and Granger to Mould on first base, and Hayden Mould is as good as there is on first base. Jones in, and Hinchy smacks that one. Oh, he really put a bit of power in that one. Didn't connect absolutely perfect, but pretty near. And that's Tony Hinchy's second 4 in succession. Very smooth runner on the bases, Tony Hinchy, man who captained LLanrumney a few years ago, and that's another 4. Here's the shot, the hardest one possibly so far. Really cracks that one hard, seen that the fielders have moved away from that spot, and he certainly picked this spot. Wozencroft, not a good shot. Charlie Kinsey can't, unfortunately the bounce went all wrong for him between his legs, and Wozencroft picks up a useful second run. So it's all going wrong for Grange Albion, and right for Albie Wozencroft, who could well have gone if Charlie Kinsey had received the ball. Here's the shot, the mishit really again, didn't get hold of it at all. Charlie Kinsey, if the bounce had been favourable on free base, he's got a very badly injured leg, and it's right through him, unfortunately. So here's Steve Haynes in tremendous form for the last month or so, very, very experienced. And the first no ball of the game, Gary Jones obviously overstepping out of the front of the box. Gary's not the fastest of bowlers, and he won't come out a lot, I wouldn't have thought. He starts from the back and into Haynes. Oh, it's a beautiful crack. Tony Hicks going. It would have had to have been a superb catch to get it. The ball favoured him on the bounce in the end. Haynes taking 2.
and 2 is all he gets. So in baseball, if we can pick him up, in fact, Ivor Hughes is the prompter between 3 and 4 bays. Baseball use a prompter or caller, and it's at the moment one of the men who's out, and it's Ivor Hughes, and his shout was to Haynes there, don't run to 3, because it was at the back of Steve Haynes, so that saved him being run out on 3. Now the crowd has grown since the start of the game, and it's turned out a nice afternoon here at Roe Park, and certainly baseball is a family game. And there's a lot of good youngsters coming into the game, both in the youth and schools. Reggie Hillman played for Moreland Club last, and before that was a LLanrumney youth player. Well, he didn't get hold of it. It was the bottom of the bat, and that's going to be out to the Albion catch, and very nearly 2 men out as Simon Thomas ran to free base, and it's Darren Young making the catch. You can see that Reg Hillman got it right at the end of the bat. It was always going to hang in the air, and in comes the fielder Darren Young and makes the catch. And 21 extras, a scorer Lyndon Moore tells me, which really is an astonishing amount in the 3rd round of a game of this stature. 21 extras. Kevin Collins, oh, that clever, he's so clever at bisecting the field, and the ball picking up a fair bit of pace and very nearly providing a 3rd run. 2 to the very safe Kevin Collins. There were 3 fielders there on the leg side, or the offside to Kevin it is. 3 fielders behind the bat, takes a high one and flicks it right between the 3 fielders. Probably you can see the need for a very fast, good opening bowler in Premier Baseball. It's so essential in baseball. And Lola Jeremy doing his best, but it's a bit of an off day for him so far. I'm sure he's going to be disappointed with this. Jeremy's a great sporting family in Grange. See what Lola Jeremy can do now to Steve Furnish. That's hittable, and it's hit, but John Jones makes the catch. It just hung a little bit in the air. He seemed to catch it well. Well, Steve Furnish seemed to get hold of it okay. Nice looking shot, and John Jones making ground to his left takes a good catch. So John Smith, the captain of LLanrumney, hitting. Oh, it's a tremendous hit! Cleared the crowd over the whole field altogether. As long as he keeps making progress, and he does, slow progress as it may be, because certainly he could have run round a few times for that one. That's going to be probably the hardest hit of the day. John Smith with that beautiful stance and that wonderful hit, just sailed away. There's no boundary, you've got to run them, but it's an easy 4. Charlie Kinsey, Player of the Year in Welsh baseball as far back as 1972. Now this bowler Charlie Kinsey played in the very first final, which Grange Albion won indeed in 1973. Steve Furnish hits away, he's caught by John Jones. So Charlie at least gets a man out there. Simon Thomas scooping it round, looked a nice shot, but it was straight down the throat of John Jones. Charlie Kinsey with one good, being bowled to Tony Hinchy. Here's the second, Hinchy hits hard, and oh, it's split the field. Hinchy on his way round, the throw is in, it's far too far. Well, Hinchy could have run 4 if he'd have known, but playing on the safe side. And he's had a good day so far batting. 3 runs. So LLanrumney 88 for 6. And well on the way to 100 it looks like, which is a very good baseball score. So here's the start of the 5th round. Albie Wozencroft facing. As LLanrumney pushing towards the best score in the Brewers was, in fact, by Grange Albion back in 1974, 140 in a final. And Wozencroft certainly started each round well. And he could just possibly make 4 runs. He may well stick for 3, as he does. 3 runs, playing very safe, good baseball. Opening bat and first base for LLanrumney. I think the stance of John Smith is not one to be copied by schoolboys, but he's very quick to move his weight and hit the ball. A beautiful shot like that. Given as a penalty run, though, by the referee. No, that's a typical shot of Smith's and very unusual to be called a penalty run, and he doesn't agree with it. But it was, I think, given because his left leg, toe in the peg, moved before he actually hit the ball. It could be one of 3 things for a penalty run. Certainly one of the others was, did his foot cross the middle? Looks as if his back foot may have been judged crossing the middle there. So, 1 run to the Albion total when they bat, the penalty run will be. Meanwhile, John Smith will settle. Now 1 good gone, penalty run gone. And Smith going the other side and hitting it to the off. He'll go straight to 2, won't stop, won't look. Runs the second run always very quickly. Well, it's 2 for him and 1 for the Albion, you can say that time. The penalty run works against, but it still puts him 1 out. Charlie Kinsey to Kevin Collins. This one he has a go at, miss hits. Oh, and he's got it clear and over the LLanrumney bench, and it stopped in the crowd, so it'll probably cut into 3 runs. Kevin Collins, I thought a little bit of a miss hit that time. It is his favourite shot. Didn't really get it right, I don't think. And LLanrumney reached the 100 for 6 men out, 5 still to be got out. John Smith, a relaxed style and hitting hard down into the ground, which he does so well, and picking up another 2 runs. Always running well within himself, John Smith. Can turn the pace on when he wants to. Steve Haynes is the batsman. That's a cracking shot, or is it Tony Hicks? Oh, he's missed it. It swerved a bit, it seemed to, in the air. It just seemed to move away to his left, and Steve Haynes will pick 4 runs up for it. Yes, he will. Well, it could have been out. It would have been a good catch, but it certainly was catchable. And it looked to swerve a bit. The fielder was Tony Hicks. Haynes hit it very well. He certainly hit a cracking shot there. And young Tony Hicks, who went to St Hildred's School, missing as it swerves away from him. Well, you can see there's delight on the veterans, you've got to call them now, Smith and Haynes. Wozencroft again nudges down, that'll do him okay. 1, won't be 2, because they're at the moment batsmen unusually for this innings, batsmen on 1, 2 and 3 base. So the batsmen are really loaded the bases at the moment. There's Tony Hinch, who's on 2 base. The man who hit it, Albie Wozencroft's on 1, and Kevin Collins to our right is on 3 base. So the batsman's got to bring them home. And here's a change of bowling. We've got a 4th bowler. It's Jeff Poole. Jeff Poole, who, like many of the others, is a footballer for Travel Shop Albion and Grange Albion. And bowled! Now that's the first man really bowled in this innings. And unusually it was Steve Haynes, and it was really a false shot by him. And all credit to Jeff Poole for this. Granger taking it behind. Haynes, as you see, reached a little bit. It was probably a bad ball. Reached too far. Well, he won't be very happy with that. He never is happy when he's out. Very good batsman. Hitchy again. Good shot. Beaten the field. Beaten John Jones. Over his head. Over the crowd. May just be cut off at 3, possibly. No, Hitchy will go for the 4. Throw coming in. But it's 4 runs That's the third home run to Tony Hinchy. Home run, more of an American expression really, but home run it is. Got underneath it, but he hit it hard enough for it to carry the field and the fielder. Poole to Smith. Oh, a good crack, that's carried the field easily. And John Smith can stroll around, and he will do. Brings the first two fast enough, and he eases, takes him to the highest score so far of 19. And that's the second four for John Smith. Showing all his class, all the strokes. The field comes in, he'll hit it out. He gave this one a fair crack, and it went way past us, over the field. A defeated fielder there already. No boundary, of course. 128 for 7, and that Albion innings of 140 in 1974 is in great danger. Well, I don't know if 50 extras will be a baseball record. It's one that's never been kept, really. It's one they don't like to keep, and Kevin Collins doing the usual, and the Albion fielding, I can't say has fallen apart, because truthfully it hasn't been very good today. It really hasn't. And Kevin Collins taking 2 runs, taking him to 17, and making it 100 runs off the bat. The rest has come in extras. John Smith, I think, has really been round enough times now that he will certainly be looking for a big hit. But that was a very good ball from Jeff Poole, very good ball. Could do nothing with that. Now, if young Poole can produce another ball like that, Smith with a good hit, but straight out, and oh, unfortunately, another catch goes down for the Albion. In Premier Baseball, really, there's no excuse at that level, I'm afraid, for what was towards the end of the bat he caught it. A lot of force in it, of course, and out it goes. Well, here's a young lad, Jeff Poole, who's worked hard, produced a few useful balls, actually. And here's to Kevin Collins. That was a good one. Kevin swings. That's the first shot he's played on the leg side, and it's going to bring him quite a few runs. It's going to bring him 3. Will he settle for 3? Yes. Safety first with Kevin Collins, Nobby as he's known by the team. Tony Hinchy wanting 2 runs to push the Albion, push LLanrumney to a new high, but that's one. It might even be out if... No, in fact he's going for 2. That's clever running, and it's 2 runs. Well, the 2 fieldsmen got themselves in a muddle. The old Ted Peterson adage in baseball, always have a 2 base, and if there was a 2 base he'd have gone on it. But Tony Hinchy picked up 2 runs. So that's a new record, 141 for 7, and still growing by LLanrumney. Albie Wozencroft is in fact bowled, and that is out. He's not going to run at all. So Lola Jeremy gets a success, and out goes Paul Wozencroft. Well, the shot wasn't a very good one, and Paul Wozencroft goes for 16 at 141 for 8. Kevin Collins receiving, again the nudge, beats the close fielder again, slip in the field again, and again the second run. And is it in third? The third it is as well. Very sloppy fielding, very poor fielding by the Albion. Follow Jeremy again to Hinchy, smacks it, misses, into the hands of the backstop. And he did the clever thing, Tony Hinchy. He made the throw go to 1 base, and Kevin Collins ran home. That's what you tell the young players. Hinchy might have been bowled, but you either got to touch him, which Steve Granger didn't, which he should have, or you've got to throw it like that. And meanwhile, the 3rd baseman, Collins, is home at 4 base. That's clever baseball by Tony Hinchy, even if he was out. Lovely easy stance of John Smith. Steve Granger behind. Smith he's got under it, and John Jones could make the catch, should do, and does. So John Smith did go for the hit, almost in effect declaring the innings in some ways, because he got under the shot. Yeah, that's the way it should have been. Under it a bit, a lot of height. American baseballers have a glove in their hand to catch it, Welsh don't. John Jones caught it on his knees. So what will Kevin finish with? Good solid crack. There's a fielder there. The throw is in, 2 maybe to Collins. Yes, he makes 2. Oh, he made 3. Oh, the fielding's disappointing. It's really bad. And it's out, 3 and out. 3 and out, but only just. Oh dear, dear. Right to the end, the Albion fielding was a little bit of a disaster. And Kevin Collins went hard for that 4th run, but he finished on 26. Good typical Collins shot. The field was there. In the old days I think it would have been 1 run. The throw wasn't very good. Collins picks up 2 by putting the pace on. Sees he's got a chance to get home. 3, so nearly 4. 3 and out.
So that record score of 153 in the first innings, a record score in the Cup final incidentally, presents a formidable target for Grange Albion as they set off for their first innings.
Mark Jones of Grange Albion opening the batting, Welsh international with 4 caps. Didn't play in the semi-final, in the final game, and he starts it off okay. Nudge down, and he will pick up the 2nd run. So here's the first baseman, and it's Hayden Mould who's batting at number 2 for Grange Albion. Just 1 cap for Wales in 1985. Oh, we just managed to pull that away over Kevin Collins. Simon Thomas going for it. Hayden Mould will be pleased that he got it away, and he could actually make 4 runs, and he does make 4 runs. Well, it was a strange shot. It wasn't the one he wanted, and it just shows how the ball will fly at Roe Park after this dry spell. So at least it's an early 4. Oof, that was very, very nearly. It was a bad ball, I think, actually. And Hayden Mould just couldn't get out of the way, so he played it pretty well. Gary Jones, who changes his hairstyle every year, just about. Oh, it looked a penalty run almost. And out to a brilliant catch! A brilliant catch by Tony Hinchy, diving forward. Very nearly a penalty run, as his foot left the pegs very early, or did it? Yeah, I think so. And Tony Hinchy diving in a sort of square leg position. Really was a good catch. The man in the mask, or at least he had the mask for Grange Albion, the backstop Steve Granger, and captain. Hits it away on the leg side. Can be a very good batsman when he gets into his form, and he's away for 3 runs. That'll do him. Good throw in the deep. Superb throw by Steve Haynes. Smith to Green. Good shot on the leg side. Played strongly and away from Steve Haynes. It looks like 4 runs. Haynes won't stop. He's still going hard for the ball, but a long, long way off. And Chris Green gets a good 4 for that leg shot. He didn't just nudge it round, he put a fair bit of power in that, Chris Green. Steve Haynes kept going all the way for it. It just shows how it will fly on this turf. 15 for 1, Grange Albion. Jeff Poole receiving a very good ball. Now Jeff's in his first really big season with the Albion. John Smith's in, had a lot of seasons for LLanrumney. There's the good ball, and then there's the almost deliberate bad ball. See if the young player will go looking for it. Ivor Hughes, the backstop, standing behind, almost on top of Jeff Poole. And bowled, or walked off, in fact, in the end. The swing took him on completely the wrong side, and Ivor Hughes, if we see it, watch the backstop here, Ivor Hughes, who will immediately go, as Poole misses, Hughes will immediately run between him and first base. There's no chance. That's good backstop play as well, of course. John Jones suggesting he's going to hit the ball on the off. Probably means entirely the opposite. Smith to John Jones. He does go for the leg shot, and he's hit it, and the force of the ball has taken it backwards and behind. Hinchy going for it, getting it just in time to prevent 4 runs, and a beautiful throw from the deep from Tony Hinchy. 3 runs nevertheless to John Jones. John Smith a little bit heavier than he has been a few years ago. A lot of Jeremy hits it straight. Paul Bellamy coming for it, but it's good enough shot to bring him certainly 2 runs. He might try for the third. He will try for the third. The throw's in, not direct to Reg Hillman though. So Jeremy picks up a good extra run, 3 runs. Determined run in by him. Charlie Kinsey scratches his head and thinks, what shall I do with this? But actually Charlie Kinsey's a very good batsman. Had a good semi-final. And he's hit high, and he could be out. He will be out, I'm sure, to Reg Hillman. He's out caught. It didn't really go. It looked for a moment as it was coming straight, but in fact stayed in the diamond, and the third baseman, Reg Hillman, caught him. Charlie got under it, really. Yeah, he looked up. Obviously, he knew it wasn't going out of the diamond. Reg Hillman waits and waits and waits, and makes the catch. So we've got Hayden Mould for the second time up. Still waiting for him to toe the peg. Now he does. John Smith into him. And he's hit it over Simon Thomas, and he's got another 4, I think. Yes, he has. Simon Thomas gives up the chase. It's obviously gone into the brook. And Hayden Mould has started with 2 4s. Well, you can see the head, but that's all. That's a good shot by Hayden Mould. Get a bit more room this time. Not too much. It's a good shot because a lot of power. And Simon Thomas gives the chase up quite early. John Jones, the batsman. This could be a catch for Kevin Collins. It will be. Oh, he's dropped it! Oh, how on earth can you drop that? And Kevin Collins would certainly want to know. I can only think he took his eyes off and was watching the man on free base. It was so easy for him. I can never remember seeing Kevin Collins drop a catch like that. Incredible that he should drop it. Albion with the bases loaded, as they say. Men on 1, 2 and 3 in front of us. Jeremy receiving and getting a good. Now Jeremy has got to clear his first baseman off with a good shot to get to 1 base himself. Oh, he's got an amazing little shot which will give him 4, I think. Well, I don't know whether he really meant that one. It was a funny little shot. He'll tell you he meant it. And it's 4 runs to another Jeremy, so he cleared the bases in a quite an unusual way, really. And the Albion have done very well to reach 50 for 3. Quite a good score. Well, there's the shot. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it's 4 runs. Third round starting for the Albion. Mark Jones was a South Glamorgan Schools player a few years ago. He's not got hold of that, and that is a catch for Kevin Collins. That really was. The battle of wits continued between Smith and Jones. Jones looked for the leg shot, never should have. Now he looks to place it on the leg, and it's so far over, it's incredible that he should hit it off to Kevin Collins. Well, this is the man that certainly they'd like to see the back of, Hayden Mould. He's hit 2 4s in 2 times to the pegs. Good player. Oh, he's got a strange shot away, but this time it could be a Steve Haynes catch. He's got it, he's got it! Is he caught it? Yes, he has, on about the 3rd attempt. Well, no, Steve won't be surprised by it. I'm surprised he had a 3rd go even. It was actually a good shot. It was a repeat of the last 2 by Hayden Mould. He obviously plays that one quite well. Steve juggles. He doesn't normally juggle. He catches them first time, but he juggles. And he catches it. Captain Steve Granger. Now the bowler has got his tail up, as they'd say. John Smith in full flow now. Jones, 2 goods and out. He knew it straight away. He knew it straight away. That was right down the middle. Why let it go, I don't know. And that's a hat-trick for John Smith. Smith again to Tony Hicks. Oh, he got it straight past the bowler. Paul Bellamy coming down for it, and Steve Furnish. Hicks flying for 3 runs. He may have a go. He will have a go for 4. It's a good 4 by the youngster. Good 4 runs for Tony Hicks. That was needed. Solid hit straight. Just defeating the follow-through of John Smith. Can't quite stop it. And bisecting the 2 fielders. It's Darren Young. Hits it high. It's 4 runs, I think, if it flies away off the ground. It's Simon Thomas after it. How will it bounce? Oh, it favours the fieldsman. Oh, and a very, very good throw. And there must have been some obstruction there. There must have been obstruction because he's given 3 runs to the runner.
What are you doing? 3 runs, Marcus.
David Evans was following the batsman around.
Can you open up, please? I won't have no hassle again.
Well, here's a booking for arguing, but why Mark Jones should argue, I don't know. It was in favour of his side, and he's booked, and John Smith, the LLanrumney bowler, is also booked.
No, keep it quiet, John. All right?
No, he's
right. All right? Quiet.
No, he's not.
In the box, please, Promda, otherwise you're out of it.
Now, the new bowler, Reg Hillman, had a purple patch 2 weeks ago in the WBU Cup final. What can he do now? Just bad. It's quite often the change of pace that fools the batsman. Hillman to John Jones, who does fool the batsman. He's gone bold. And it's the change as much as anything that did it. John Jones hits too early and he's gone. Hillman to Hicks, and he swept it well. And it's very unluckily been stopped by one of the committee, and that was really bad luck. And he could go on 3, he could go on 2. He's out, oh, not out. Bellamy dropping it. 2 runs. Hillman to Chris Green. Oh, it's a good ball, very good ball. Shape for the leg shot. Reggie Hillman putting in a useful percentage of good balls. Well taken by Hughes, and he's going to get him out. It looks like, can Smith get him? Yes! Out! Smith brilliantly catching Tony Hicks. Well, that was an astonishing out there. Hillman to Green, he lets it go. Hughes immediately dashing to 4. Hicks in full flight. Hughes to Smith. Hicks going back to evade Hughes. Smith is tremendously fast and gives him a wallop. Chris Green played a very good innings for Grange Albion. Sweeps away again. Tony Hinchy cutting it down. Green is very, very quick. And a good throw by Hinchy. 2 runs up. What can Darren Young do? Nothing. Clean bowled, all out. Chris Green doesn't move on 2. They're all out. Grange Albion. Darren Young was bowled and Chris Green was holding. So there it is. Green can't do anything. Young is bowled, all out.
So Grange Albion, having scored 89 in their first innings in reply to LLanrumney's 153. That was a first innings deficit of 64. And according to the laws of baseball, when a team is 30 runs or more behind, it's optional for the leading side to compel its opponents to follow on. And that's exactly what LLanrumney have done. So Grange Albion will follow on in their second innings.
Mark Jones will open. And, oof, dear. I think, again, this conflict between the two. Jones looking for the leg shot, Smith trying to kid him with it. And he plays it away. Okay, good shot this time for Mark Jones. Better that he should do that and hit it away on the off, and indeed pick up 3 runs. to Simon Thomas's beautiful throw in from the deep. So 3 runs to open the innings, and that's a bit more sensible baseball from Mark Jones. It's Smith to Hayden Mould. Good crack, good solid crack between the fielders. I think Paul Bellamy really saw that. He turned the wrong way. Tony Hinchy's after it, but it's 4 runs again to Hayden Mould. That's his 3rd home run of the match. And he's really looked the best batsman, actually. This is a man who's rated highly by opponents. Good solid crack right between 2 LLanrumney fielders. John Jones receiving. It's strongly caught by Albie Wollstonecroft on 1 base. And almost out on 3 as well. Good fielding. The catch was straightforward. He very nearly took another runner as well. John Jones, solid hit. Wollstonecroft going low makes the catch and immediately throws to free base, and very nearly had another runner out there, but it was good play. Albie Wollstonecroft maturing into a good first base. Tony Hicks picking up another extra. He's not quite dependable today, Tony Hicks. First Brewers final for him. Well, that's high, and it's out for Tony Hinchy. It looks like it is out. Caught. Tony Hicks cracks it hard but high. Tony Hinchy's positioned beautifully, doesn't hardly move. Catch was always there. Smith to Lulla Jeremy, who's out on 1, I should think. Wollstonecroft to Smith, and out! Yep, well, good fielding that by John Smith. That's what a good bowler does. The baseman, Paul Wollstonecroft, didn't quite make it. The shot is always too near 1 base, and watch Smith, now he follows through and beats Jeremy. Wollstonecroft can't make it, so the return ball to Smith, and out by a yard or 2. John Smith still trying to lead LLanrumney to what would be their 6th treble. 2 major caps in league. A beautiful shot by Mould. That's a superb shot, and he's had a fine game with the bat. That's as good a shot as there was today. Hayden Mould, 2nd successive 4. Well, it doesn't excite Hayden Mould very much. There's no expression, but he's hit a beautiful 4. No real boundary, of course, it's just a line for people to sit behind. So the bowling change bringing in Reggie Hillman for the 2nd time in the match to Skipper Granger. But beautiful ball, that one. Reg Hillman with that slingy sort of action. Granger hits high, that could well be a catch. Patrick Cassier takes it. Good catch, and the first time I think he's touched the ball in the field. So Grange Albion 36 for 4. Steve Granger right at the bottom of the bat again, lifts it high. Pat Cassier's got to make a few yards in and takes it quite well. Well, I'm not sure who that is. I don't think he's a baseball supporter. Charlie Kinsey receiving, hitting down. This could be out. John Smith, no, he can't field it first go. Is it out going to 1? It was. Smith misfielded, but he got it 2nd go. And Charlie, who had a dreadful car accident, a motorbike accident, quite a few years ago, just couldn't quite make it. He really is a good bat, Charlie Kinsey. Scores a lot of runs. John Smith fumbles the first, then the throw across the diamond, and Wollstonecroft was quick. Hillman to Jones again. Jones, just nudges it somehow or other. I think he really meant to do that. Clipping sort of shot. Simon Thomas underneath the trees. Here's the throw, but in comes Mark Jones for 4 runs. Takes him into double figures. Mould hits high. This could be a catch for Paul Bellamy. Coming in, takes his time and makes the catch. And that's a very good man gone. Hayden Mould didn't quite sound right. Grange Albion 48 for 6 and still 16 behind. Hayden Mould gets underneath, up it goes in the air, out of the diamond. Paul Bellamy's waiting and was always going to catch it. Chris Green receiving. Good shot on the leg side. Not much chance for Tony Hinchy. That's 4 unless it's stopped by someone in the crowd. It isn't, and she's got a long, long run. Chris Green is home for a very good 4 runs. Applauded by the backstop. It was a solid shot again from Chris Green. Takes him on to 8 and not much chance for the fielder. Mark Jones receiving. It's on the off high, he's out caught by Pat Cassia. Nice catch. What do you think the second time he's touched the ball and the second time he's made a catch? Mark Jones, who doesn't tend to like the offside of the field, and it was always going to be out. Pat Cassia takes it very nicely. 56 for 7. Well, John Smith bringing his field around a bit for Chris Green, who again favours the leg hit. Reg Hillman to one base, and the flying Green made the run. Referee right there, it was a close one. Certainly someone without Green's speed wouldn't have made it. Now, LLanrumney have got a theory that I've noticed the last couple of times round that this lad Poole will nick it behind, but in fact he hits it straight, and that's out. Hold it is to Steve Furnish, and it's out walked off this time because the first base runner Green couldn't leave his base. And Jeff Poole is out walked off. And 58 for 8, Grange Albion, still 6 behind. Here's the first walk-off, really, of the game. Past the bowler, straight to Steve Furnish to 2 base. Means that Chris Green on 1 can't move. He goes back, and that's it. The better batsman, really, I suppose, has got to stay in there. Well, I think Don O'Leary of Grange Albion would like to send him on. Now, this is the last man home, actually. It's Gary Jones. It's an awkward situation, and this could be a run out. It will be a run out of field. Oh, clever play, and out. Out goes Chris Green, and that was really clever by Smith because he kidded the batsman. He kidded the batsman, and he threw it to a second fielder coming in behind. And Chris Green is out. The dummy. Smith goes to throw to one man. Wozencroft comes too far. Furnish is there behind, and he's the one who gets Green out. Smith to Darren Young. Edges out caught. Simon Thomas. LLanrumney noticeably have been putting the long stop around there. I don't think the Albion had noticed it. Young nicks it. Thomas, very fit young lad, takes it. So last man, and I'm sure Gary Jones won't know it, but he needs 1 run to make LLanrumney bat again. Well, really, the likelihood is that Gary will get the run because the field has gone back to give him 1, 2 or 3, but not 4. He's got to get home. Gary hits it down. He'll just make the run, but only just. He makes the 1 run. Well, there we are, all out as the ball goes down. 1 run for Gary Jones.
So Grange Albion scoring just 64 in their second innings, which means that LLanrumney now have the merest formality of scoring just 1 run to win the 1989 Welsh Brewers Cup final.
Jeremy to Wozencroft. It's a bad ball. 1 more bad ball, and that's victory. Jeremy to Wozencroft. Bad it is, and it is, that's it. don't even hit the ball, and LLanrumney win by 11 men holding.
So a convincing victory for LLanrumney, and Captain John Smith receives the trophy, the Welsh Brewers Cup, from Mr. Brian Blake, the Managing Director of the sponsors, Welsh Brewers Limited. Well, John Smith, the winning captain, many congratulations. It was perhaps more comfortable than you thought at first, was it?
Well, the way our boys have been batting all season, I don't think there's a side around to touch us at the moment.
You've had a great season, LLanrumney.
Yes, unbeaten all year. So far, we've still got one more cup to go for. It's called the 40 Goods. It's a new thing down from England, and we hope to win that now.
That little piece of silverware you've got under your arm there, you're making it LLanrumney's property.
Well, yes, I think it's about the 7th time now, but there's still plenty of youngsters coming through to make sure there's more to come.
Well, don't undersell yourself, that's the 9th time. What about John Smith then? You're going to carry on and keep going with LLanrumney?
Oh, definitely. With LLanrumney, yes, but I think it's time to bow down and let the #1 bowling spot go to a few youngsters.
And a little bit of celebration tonight, Johnny.
Oh, most definitely, yes.
Well, congratulations, and well done to LLanrumney.
Thank you very much.
So John Smith and his team already celebrating. Congratulations to LLanrumney, that was a fine win indeed, and commiserations to Grange Albion, but at least they made a showing in the final. Well, that's the end of our Welsh baseball season for 1989. LLanrumney finishing on a very high note indeed. As we say congratulations to them, we say goodbye from Roath Park, and we hope to see you again next year. Bye-bye.